Warning, this video contains LGBT content. In that regard, my god guys, if you don't like watching two guys or two girls kissing each other or have sex, please leave. If you're an adult, you can censor your own net use by not reading or watching things you dislike. Don't treat us like babies. I'm a big fan of fanfiction and fan art, especially with their rising quality over at AO3, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, you name it, wherever in social media. But which ones do I hold dear to my heart? Which shows that I keep close to my heart and my mind almost every damn day? Which ones are always on my mind? This list shows off my top 5 fandoms, but in no particular order. Remember, these are fandoms, and thus these ships are not necessarily canon in the actual storyline. In fact, they take huge liberties to depart from the actual canon, but that doesn't make them any less worthwhile. Let's get to it. Number 5, McHanzo, Jesse McCree, and Hanzo Shimada. With little to go on regarding relationships. Actually, they barely have anything to go on relationships aside from their voice lines. But it was a surprise for some to see McHanzo blow up into the size of the ship that it is today. They are arguably one of the most popular ships in the Overwatch fandom. These two appeal to gays on a primal level, the sharp-shooting silver-tongued cowboy and the stern and cold Japanese samurai. Overwatch has a fairly small cast, and thus various ships are made. But this ship is one of the first I encountered, and I've just found myself in love with the two. The fanworks add fuel to the fire, some written with such detail and quality that I wish there was a movie about them, or an animation. One particular story, Hang the Fool, rocked the fandom with its quality despite the developing story of the game because it was still underway. It wasn't exactly in beta, but it started out during the beta phase, I think. But when the characters were slowly released one by one, it was in the early years, and then they started announcing stuff like Sombra, other people, but some of the additional characters that were apart from the original cast were just hinted, so no one had anything to go on except those hints. Anyway, regarding them, I just find myself in love with these two. The dynamic the fandom gives them is very, very elegant. I'm not sure if elegant's the right word, but you should see some of the work. Anyway, take my money and soul, internet! Make them a series, make them a movie, whatever! Next up, we have Cullen and Trevelyan. Cullen x Trevelyan. Now, stepping into the Dragon Age territory, specifically Inquisition, I'm all for the stern ex-Templar, now Commander, flirting with a charismatic Inquisitor. I honestly loved his designs. And by him, I meant Cullen. I've always loved his design since the second Dragon Age. I didn't think his character was too shelled out in the second Dragon Age, though. His story was more noteworthy in the first Dragon Age. And when Inquisition came along, well, I felt conflicted, especially with the straight Cullen setup. I personally just applied the bi-Cullen mod just for my own peace of mind, and if my PC could handle playing the game and recording it, well, I would have probably done the voice acting for some of the male Inquisitor Trevelyan myself. Fanfiction ranges from orgies with Dorian and Bull to absolute fluff and alternate universes. I'm all for bi-Cullen. Cullen Rutherford has been a fan thing since the first Dragon Age, though not as prominent as it is now, especially with this remodeling. With his new look though, he's risen to some of the hottest video game characters in Dragon Age. Next up we're going to comics this time, Jason Todd and Tim Drake. Look, I get it, it's bad cest. Bad cest is the common descriptor here, but technically they aren't blood brothers, and Tim's morality is not really the same as Batman's. Look, a lot of people eat Batman. Sorry, Bats! Look, it's like getting it on with your stepbrother when you think about Jason Todd and Tim Drake getting together, which is ambiguous, I'll admit. Sometimes I feel bad reading, but then sometimes I'm like, wow, this works. Thank God for fandoms and cleverly talented fanfiction writers. Look, I just like the concept of these two. Ships and fandoms don't necessarily have to make sense, but I'm glad fanfics help justify it for me. They're just... well, the thing with fans is that they can blow mutual respect out of proportion, and I just fell into the pit with them. The fan art is just as good, and please consider this logic. Tim has known Jason before Jason even knew about him. He admired the Bat family from afar from afar, even before Jason's tragedy. So the drama behind Jason coming back from the dead and meeting and trying to kill his replacement, Tim Drake, is juicy. I love drama. Why do you think I watch Drag Race? I personally love the ship. It gets me going. It's beautifully done, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. Also, Tim Astray in an alternate universe where he's taken in by Selena Kyle is all kinds of fun. I'll put a link in the description so you know what I'm talking about. Next up we have Stucky. You know where it's at. Captain America Steve Rogers and Iron Man Tony Stark have had a pretty good relationship since the dawn of Marvel Comics. There are Tumblr threads explaining this dissertation. I bet there's an actual dissertation about this. Their dynamic is arguably one of the most synergized ever seen, at least until Civil War, which I might be in denial about. Actually, it happens, it can happen, things happen, shit happens. Anyway, these two alone make the ship Stony. But what about throwing in that longtime best friend? You know, that childhood friend you've loved and cared for like your whole damn life? Well, you have James Buchanan Barnes, so that gets you Stucky. Look, the three have a certain dynamic with each other in the fandom focuses on. Because, let's face it, there's drama, there's respect, flow in fandom, and that becomes an explosion we're waiting to happen. They became one of the most prominent, non-canon, polyamorous ships in the history of Tumblr. And if you're talking about history of Tumblr, that's probably meaning history of America. Many depict them as they are, superheroes. Many take off from the many spin-off games, TV series, cartoons, and etc. But a lot have taken liberties to writing their own stories about them. This is where it gets juicy. The written works for Stucky are so well written, they may as well be their own novels. And they are so good, they are the reason I stuck to fanfiction for so long. It is that good. So the last one on my list is Sterek. Alright, look, the beauty of Styles Stalinsky and Derek Hill is not just in how their apparent chemistry on screen goes from mutual respect or sass and to full-blown sexual tension, but also in how the fandom analyzes every minor detail to equate it to love. And it is a glorious masterpiece, I love it. The show even went to lengths to exploit it by getting votes from teens at a particular award show. There was a clip on Tumblr inviting teenagers to vote for them. They were a ship. And the actors knew this, the directors knew this. They kind of fucked it up at season 4, I'm not sure. I think it was season 4. 3B was when Derek became sparse. Anyway, let's face it, the two suit each other. The actors specifically. Dylan O'Brien and Tyra Hoechlin are some of the cutest and hottest people that I've seen on small screen TV. On the silver screen. Wait, was that silver screen? What do you call TV? Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, I'd cream my pants as a gay man imagining what else they did together. Sure, the ship sunk canonically when the newer seasons pushed, but it remains to be one of the most prominent ships in Tumblr. Probably American history. I keep saying that, what the fuck? Anyway, it has boatloads of fanfictions, fan art, homages, canon divergences, and more. You don't believe me? I've got a list. So, yeah, that's my passion about fanfiction and fandoms. Look, fanfiction are just really good books who borrow characters and universes from someone else. It's a great way to explore your creativity, and I encourage people to make fan works. I'm that kind of person. I'll enjoy creativity to an extent. So, if you enjoyed more of this, why not donate to AO3? AO3 did not sponsor this video, but I will say that they're doing God's work. Keep them running, guys. Help them live. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next episode, and I hope you enjoyed me ranting about my favorite fandoms. Bye for now.